Hey everybody, here we are, episode 34 of the Anthem podcast. I hope that you've gotten all that turkey out of your system and finished up all those leftovers. This week, Corey's in San Francisco, so we're going to take a little special chance to talk about me, yours truly. Well, not really about me, it's about my book, The Movement Insurrection, that came out yesterday. So this podcast is, well, it wanders a lot, but we do talk a lot about my book. So sit back and enjoy. Make sure you go to Amazon at the link in the show notes so you can purchase our book through our affiliate network. Other than that, just enjoy. Here we go.
Viva la Revolution! Viva la Quebec! Welcome to the Anthem podcast. This is Corey.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob.
You don't like my... You're talking about my old dog, Becky.
Quebecois. Quebecois vermin. Actually, I guess it wouldn't be in a French accent.
No.
Because it would be English. But...
So anyway, did you ever see the episode of Dr. Katz with Ray Romano?
Yes. Well,
where he's just like...
episodes of Dr. Katz.
Where he's like, did you know that, people who work at Burger King in Quebec have to be bilingual? I couldn't believe that shit. In America, they don't even have to be lingual. You just draw pictures of your food. I want a hamburger. Yeah. I want it to go. I draw little legs on it. I want it to go. No, I don't want an apple pie. That was a good one.
We highly recommend Dr. Katz, available on Amazon. So one thing you're going to notice is we're going to start putting in the show notes and on the website affiliate links for Amazon.
Yeah.
So when we bring up things, we're going to make it easy for you, like Dr. Katz. If you'd like to purchase Dr. Katz, there will be a link.
Yeah. So just click on Dr. Katz, and then you can buy it, and then we get a little...
Wet or beak.
Yeah, we get a little bit of it.
A little kickback.
Amazon doesn't need all that money.
And it doesn't impact your price at all. You pay the same. It just comes out of their money, and they give it to us.
And then eventually we take all that money and we make a movie.
Right. That then you can purchase on Amazon.
Yeah, and then we'll affiliate link that.
Yes.
And double up
Loop it up a little bit. Loop it up a little bit.
It's called a pyramid scheme.
Is that what it's called? And if you click through enough, I don't know where I was going with that.
If you click through enough, then Rob will come to your house and sing Nelly Furtado to you.
You're beautiful.
That's...
You're beautiful. I think, how about this? If you don't click through enough, then I'm going to come to your house and sing Nelly Furtado.
Rob's just going to go through his entire friends list and figure out who hasn't been listening to the podcast.
That's what I'm
and
doing
go over
right
their
now.
house and sing to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So if you haven't been listening, you probably are listening now because I'm outside your window playing it. So we're not alone today.
Boombox over the head.
Yeah. Say anything, Sal?
Yeah.
And I always say Peter Frampton. It's not Peter Frampton.
It is Peter Frampton.
What do I always say? Oh, somebody else then. You keep correcting me because I always say it's somebody, and you're like, it's fucking Peter Frampton.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we're not alone today, even though she's being very silent over there. Debbie Downer is here with us this afternoon.
This is Debbie Downer, a.k.a. EP.
EP's here.
I think she looked as if she was about to fillet that microphone for a moment. She got that wrist, got that strong wrist out there, looped it around. Get up.
She got the technique from you.
The
mic handling technique.
I learned from the best.
Well, if you're going to be doing something...
Nobody does imitation fellatio on a microphone quite like Rob.
If you got to have a skill, I suppose that's part
I
of
guess
it.
nobody really does fellatio like Rob.
No. Anyway. So, big things happening.
Yeah. This is sort of a special episode of the podcast. The idea from the start, we don't need all that. Don't make me take that out in post. Because I don't know how to do it.
Oh, damn it.
The idea behind the podcast, obviously, is we do the films, and Rob has his book out, or coming out.
Yes, indeed.
So the idea is that every once in a while, when there's a big project we have to promote, something that's out there, you're going to hear all about it beforehand.
Right.
So,
and I would like to announce my debut into the world of softcore pornography.
So just go on to your YouTubes, your YouPorns.
RedTube. Thank you.
Go to your RedTube. Type in Randy Steele. And you'll find.
That is the worst porn name.
I figured you wouldn't be good at naming your characters in porn.
You know, how do you do the porn star name? It's the name of your first pet and the street you grew up on.
Jade Chapel Ridge.
Is that your
Yeah.
Thunder, Charter Oak.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I do like the thunder part.
I know.
That's
It was a cat.
something tells me that if I was just cruising YouPorn, which I don't do all the time, obviously, but if I
Gotta
were,
sleep sometimes.
yeah, every once in a while,
all the time.
I imagine if I was just cruising through, and then all of a sudden I saw I don't know, Randy Steele takes it to Thunder. Just make it Thunder Road or whatever.
Thunder, Chatter Road?
Charter Oak.
Charter Oak. Thunder, Chatter Oak.
Yeah, so if it's like Randy Steele takes it to Thunder Charter Oak,
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, I kind of want to see what this Thunder porn star is all about.
So what's all that? I'd be concerned
Because I remember the first time I ever saw like the name Christy Canyon, I was just like, what the fuck? That's a porn star name. I like it.
Both of those sound like dude names. That's why I wouldn't click on it. I'd be
Christy
like,
Canyon?
No, Thunder,
Charter
Chatter
Oak.
Oak. That's definitely a dude's porn name.
That would be
Randy
Thunder
Steele.
Thunder James or something like that.
No, I don't think there's any way Thunder is associated to
Thunder
girls.
Jacobs.
If we went by that was like my actual first pet. Like that was my animal. But I had a dog. Like the family had a dog before, and that was Goldie. So it could be Goldie Charter Oak.
Now there you go. There is a porn name for a girl. Not that
That
I
could be a
would know.
good stripper name too. Ladies
Now
and
that I
gentlemen,
know.
welcome to the stage, Goldie.
She'd have to be a blonde. It would be kind of
She-
funny if she was a brunette.
She's got gold. She's got gold on the ceilings and titties in your face. Goldie on the stage.
You would make the worst strip club DJ in the world.
I was sitting here with Shannon working on songs for about that time I fell in love.
Working on songs. Yeah.
And on YouTube, they played the advertisement for like the Black Keys in concert, like Black Keys on tour, and they played it like 15 times during the course of me and Shannon sitting there. So I kept turning to her, going like, "Did you know Black Keys are going on tour?"
Wait, the Black Keys or the Black Keys?
Black Keys.
Keys. Did you say Keys?
I was trying to think of where the
Talking to the
connection was.
microphone.
I was trying to think of where the connection was, and then I realized gold on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, so I'd be a strip club DJ who just makes like obscure musical references.
Here's the thing. Strip club DJs in
She's
general,
like a bird.
they're annoying in general, but
Yeah.
they're not distracting. That would distract me. I'd be like, what the? Is he making an allusion to something that I don't get?
So
Like-
great strip club story. My friend Jeff used to be a DJ at Hustler.
Mm-hmm. Here in Baltimore?
Yeah.
Which
And-
used to be a classic theater, actually.
Yeah, the Gaiety.
Exactly right.
Right. Back when gay didn't mean what gay means now.
Well, yes.
Happy.
A good time place to
And
go.
it's still a good time place to go.
Anywho, he told me, why don't you come by some night? And I was just like, okay. So I came by one night and I saw him. And I was like chatting with him at the DJ booth.
You wouldn't be found at a strip club otherwise. I just decided
Well,
to go by.
I guess I'll go to the Hustler tonight. Rather than random hole in the wall
Oh, what's that place all the way down?
in Dundalk.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go there at like 11 o'clock in the morning when nobody's there and just see what shit happens. That's like optimal strip club time.
No, it is the exact opposite. That is their D crow.
But so I went there and he was just like, is there any girls that you caught your eye or anything like that? And I was just like, oh, there's this one, I don't remember. Curvy brunette.
Redhead went by the name Pepper?
No.
No? Okay.
No. There's this curvy brunette who I kind of liked, and he was just like, cinnamon to the DJ booth. Or whatever. And then she came by, and he's just like, this is my friend CB5. He's an awesome dude. I want you to take him in the back. And I'm just like, okay. And she drags me in the back, and then we're sitting there, and we're waiting for the song to change, and then I just hear him over top, like, I'm just sitting there, like, waiting for the inevitable.
By the way,
And then-
that is the most awkward experience of your
Yeah.
life. when like everybody knows we're 30 seconds left in the song.
Yeah.
So they just wait.
Yeah.
What, I gotta make conversation with you now? Like, it's one thing
She's
when
doing
all
she's
of us
doing
are
the
there.
like, so do you go to school or something? I'm 30 years old, ma'am.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden I just hear, like, this is from my friend CB5 in the back. And then it's a 19-minute
Right.
Prince song, and I'm
That's
just
what I was
like,
gonna
yes!
say.
Yes!
Dark Side. It's the entire Dark Side of the Moon
Dark Side of
album.
the Moon. It's Echoes by Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Well, we are. Wait. What is the song that you timed yourself by?
Echoes.
Is it Echoes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is Echoes, and then you lose track of time, and next thing you
Yeah.
know. Anyway, were you wearing sweatpants? Was that? No.
No.
Were you wearing yoga pants?
You mean at the strip club?
Yeah.
The Hustler is super, like, intense about their dress code.
Yeah. No sweatpants allowed.
I like the other clubs on the block where they give you like don't wear athletic shorts again.
Right.
And then just the next time you go,
Don't
just
wear
like,
athletic shorts.
yeah, don't wear those athletic shorts again.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't know. You were here yesterday and I told you the same thing.
I don't own anything else, man. What do you want from me? That's Corey.
Yeah.
Because Corey doesn't own anything else.
He wore a button down out last night.
What?
And jeans.
And we've
Uh-huh.
established that that's a good look for you when you dress like a grown up.
Yeah. And now today I'm wearing the same ratty ass sweatshirt I always wear. and
Well,
athletic
here's what my
shorts and
point. You wore a button up
Fucking beanie.
and jeans, right? And you got a number.
I did. There was a lumberjack who was all about me last night.
Who apparently has a girlfriend.
Yeah. He did make sure I got home safe, though. That was nice.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So no. Big things coming, but not that. No softcore porn for me.
Well, we got the big thing that's coming immediately is the book being released.
Yes, exactly right.
Which is like, I feel like over the course of the podcast, even though the book has been written and out there in the ether to some degree or another throughout the entire time that we've been recording this podcast,
Right.
I haven't given you the proper, like,
Well, here's what I'll say.
I'm insanely proud of you for having done this.
Oh, God.
Well, no, I'm serious. Like, this
So
is...
I finished it in January of 2013.
Yeah.
And then some time passed before I actually got the balls to get it edited and stuff. And I gave it to you in January of 2013 just to review and edit for me. And never got it back. Never got copies. Never got notes.
I do have a binder.
Another one.
I have like 2/3 of the binder filled with red markings.
Wait, of the book that's now being published, or
Yeah,
the next one?
one that's now being published.
Right. Yeah.
I was gonna finish it. I'm gonna give it to you sometime after the first
Right. Okay.
when it's maximum time.
Right.
Like,
And then book number 4, which you also have a copy of.
yeah.
And EP has read a couple of mine. Not this one. This is the one you haven't read, right?
I have not read this one.
Right, which is why she purchased the book early.
So let's set this up because we're talking about multiple books and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
This is part of the series.
Well, yeah, so there's it's a series, but it's not just a series. So how I envision this whole thing is that there's a universe. It's very similar to ours. It's slightly in the future. The present for this book is the late 20-teens, which when I wrote it was pretty far away, and now we are creeping up on with remarkable speed.
We can't necessarily deny the fact that this is what the late 20-teens is going to be like, though.
Right, and that's why I tried to write it. It's very realistic. I mean, like, you're not finding it's not Back to the Future,
right?
Or Back to the Future 2, right? It's Back to the Future.
Yeah, where
2?
they go to the future.
Right. It's not like
And they have hoverboards and the Cubs winning the World Series and
none of that's going to happen. We know.
Yeah.
So nothing like that. It's just enough far in the future that it makes sense that this actually could develop. There is no set timeline, which I'm finding to be a problem now that I'm writing the sequel. That I can't remember where I was. And I think I'm going to buy just a big whiteboard.
that's what I do. I just buy whiteboards and.
No, I'm going to buy like a super big one.
Oh yeah.
And timeline all 5 of the books that I have right now, so that major events always line up in all 5 books. So, but yeah, so this one is the kickoff. It's not the first book, but it's the kickoff book, and I think it's the most exciting one.
So is it kind of like Star Wars, where we like start in the middle?
Yeah, actually,
And then we have prequels, and then we have...
that is a very interesting way to look at it, and I didn't think about that, but it is. It's of all of the books, I think it's the most exciting one. And you read a very early copy of it.
Yeah.
It's very action-packed filled. It's moving. There's a lot of things going on. And I mean, I don't want to say there's no character development, because there is, but I think it's the one that if you read it, you're going to want to find out more about all these people.
Well, that's the thing. So Rob makes fun of me for not having finished the book.
Any of them.
I'm a very, very bad reader.
Well, here's what I'll say.
I have ADHD like nobody's business, and I read like 20 pages at a clip, and then I go like, oh, I need a pizza. And then for a month and a half, I don't pick up the book again.
How long did it take you to finish the first one I sent you?
Not long.
Like 4 days, I think, right?
Well, you sent it to me in segments.
Oh, that's right. The first one you actually... No, the second one I sent you was the first one I wrote.
Right.
Okay. Well, the most recent one that I wrote. Anyway, but when I sent this to the very first person, they read it in 24 hours.
Yeah,
She just said that she couldn't put it down when she read it.
Well, whenever I did sit down to read it, I had a hard time putting it down until I got hungry.
I was going to
Which
eat
is-
your book, and then I got high.
You mean ate. You mean he ate. Then I got hungry.
Yeah, then I got hungry.
Hungry, yes. Hungry. Different H word. But I have been kicking around... Well, I just found that this part of the story was the most exciting one. And not that there's not excitement to be had elsewhere, but it's the kind of thing where, like, I fucking hate saying this, but it is like Star Wars. It's like the first Star Wars. Like, you get into it, and all of these stories are happening, and at the end of it, you want to know, how do we get here? Where is it going from here?
Right.
All of those things.
The universe becomes part of what draws you into the whole thing.
And then so now we can go off on the story of all of these people who are involved, and they're all going to have their own adventures. They're all going to have their own story of how they got there. But this is the one that says, I like the three main characters of the book are Teddy and Jimmy and Mark. And everybody has a favorite. Everybody has their own perspective on why that is the person that they like. And we're going to find out more about all of these people as it goes along.
Throughout the course of the series.
Throughout the course of the series. So this one is the center of three.
Before we get too deep into it, just because you mentioned our guys here.
Sure.
How would you describe Teddy and... Like, how would you describe all the characters? Like,
Okay, well, so the main character of the book is Teddy.
Okay.
We see more of him than we do the other characters, and I mean, Teddy is based on me, but so are there's a lot of me in a lot of these characters. And those people who listen regularly will know that I talk about all these crazy adventures that I've gotten myself into.
Yeah.
And it plays out well, I think. For me to elaborate on them and change them a little bit. And that's what you're going to find through a lot of my writing, is a lot of the stuff you hear me talk about turns into scenes from the books. But Teddy is not me. I
think it was Anthony Kiedis who said that, like, anytime he writes an album, he just takes the 12 most interesting things that happen throughout the year and writes songs about them.
There you go. Teddy is actually also based on you, slightly.
Hey! Look at this guy smiling.
So, the thing about Teddy is that he is from a deceivingly upper-class family where they're comfortable, but you wouldn't know it from knowing Teddy.
Right.
He's very down-to-earth, and then we find out later about his family, and we're like, oh, they're actually a little wealthy. They have a lot of stuff that the other people wouldn't have.
He wears fucking ripped up sweatshirts, but in reality, he has an $8 million trust fund somewhere.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, like, he can sympathize.
I don't have an $8 million trust fund, by the way. Nobody come at me for fucking money.
I was like, you have what?
It'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing after?
I hear you like errands.
maybe you wanna go to Checkers or something like that.
But so Teddy is he's a really laid back guy. And Teddy and Mark start out the book. They're roommates in college.
Yeah,
which is kind of based on us, although we never lived together in college. Ironically enough.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just never. I'm trying to think because I don't know why.
Well, you wanted to live in like
Oh, that's
C-Square
right. And you
yeah.
like to live in the towers. That
Yeah.
was the reason. And then when I moved to the towers, you had already gone, so
Yeah.
it wasn't even there. And so
I was outstered.
Right. So, so Teddy and Mark are roommates, and that's how we are introduced to both of these characters. And Teddy is really laid back, but he doesn't have student loans because his family paid for his college. And you wouldn't really know it once we get to know him about how wealthy he is, and that's what you kind of learn as you go along. Is that the family's well off for the things, and they're kind of connected. And I envision Bill Baker a lot in that because it's like we never know what his dad does, but his dad knows people. And Teddy has met people through his dad, and,
Right?
So it's that kind of aspect of everything. And they go to school, and they live in they go to school outside of the city, and it's never really detailed what the city is. It's the only place that's not mentioned by name, and that's because I've lived in a lot of cities, and I just find that
The idea of a city
Right.
is sort of universal.
And again, when you take stories from being in Baltimore and being in D.C. and being in Philadelphia, they kind of meld. And I don't want to, I think that ideally New York is the city that it's based off of because New York is where we were at school.
Well, I do find just from from the artist's point of view, when I look at anytime I drive into a city, I feel a wave come upon me.
One thing or another.
Yeah, especially, I get it a lot with, 83. Because you're sort of driving through the city, and then as soon as you get around, Pleasant Street, so you're taking, 83 south.
Right.
As soon as you hit Pleasant Street, and all the buildings are right there.
Right. Yeah.
Laid out in front of you, you're just like, ooh.
See, I love that.
I'm in the city. It's on. I'm in.
And New York, you see it coming up on the right-hand side across the river.
Right.
Philadelphia kind of has that same reveal. It's kind of in front of you to the left when you exit from Delaware to go that way.
I do like when you're going 95 to Philly, and then you're just caught up in the whole
it's a little crazy
rigmarole of all the different interstates there. And then, you're right by the stadiums. That's where it puts you out. And you just see the city in the background. You're just like, oh.
Well, and so for
Get a cheesesteak.
people who live in New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, or Washington, D.C., this is what I'll say. Everything that you find in the book is absolutely accurate. Descriptions of places, distance between places, how things are connected. I spent a lot of time doing the research to come up with how, if I was in this situation, what would I do? Where would I go? And it's all very accurate.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. The front cover of the book is a composite picture, but it's a real place that actually exists, a place that I've been before, where when you're standing next to this flagpole, you're looking directly into Washington, D.C. So there's been a lot of research, a lot of time was taken for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's a good-looking cover, by the way.
And it's a composite picture. It's not the best. I would rather have something that was done original for it, but to come up with that kind of picture would require a lot more time. And what I wanted was that. I wanted these guys who are a ragtag.
But it kind of works because it's a dystopian future.
Yes. Well, and no, it's not a dystopian future, and that's why I call it a dystopian future, but it's the future that we have right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every dystopian future, though, is all roads lead to this. EP and I watched Idiocracy.
Right.
What was it, 2 or 3 weeks back?
Yeah.
And, we could both easily see how one day our world could become President Camacho and ow my balls and stuff like that.
Right. No, and I mean that's
and it's actually approaching us at an alarming rate.
Right. And not that far in the future, obviously, because it's not set that far in the future. But things are recognizable.
Real quick, fucking sidebar, because I'm going to forget about this if I don't bring it up right now. I don't know who saw the actual video of Barack Obama's immigration speech.
I did, yeah.
He was kind of more brazen than I've ever seen him before.
Yeah.
I think you don't get it quite from the text, but it was the presidential address of fuck you, bitch, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yes.
Cross this line if you want a piece.
Yeah.
I don't much care for the man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't much care for any of them.
Yes.
It's like picking which turkey I want to eat for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
But turkey tastes good.
Yeah.
I have strong feelings about it, but I've been displacing those on Facebook for the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So everything he's doing is illegal. That's what it comes down to. He basically said, and I've been making allusions to Caesar crossing the Rubicon. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
He's saying, you won't do what I think is best. You won't do anything, but you certainly won't do what I think is best.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm going to do what I want.
Well, he's kind of, to bring it to a local parable,
Yeah.
he's kind of doing what, his story is very closely related, I feel, to the Robert Ehrlich story.
Yeah.
Where Ehrlich just walked into a majority Democratic state house
Mhm.
that wasn't going to let him do shit.
Right.
Was just going to make him sit in the penalty box for 4 years.
But you don't just take unilateral. And the governor has a lot more power than the president does on paper. The governor of Maryland has a lot more power than the president does on paper.
For Maryland.
For Maryland.
Yeah,
not
like
for
he
the
can't
country,
just
obviously.
make decisions for Wisconsin.
Right. But
Wouldn't that be funny? Scott Walker would be pissing himself.
but that being said, he is creating the thing I hate most. The thing I hate most about this whole situation is that for 9-10 years he's been saying presidents cannot govern this way. You cannot govern by executive action. You cannot govern by executive order.
Right.
We have a system that's built for. He's a constitutional scholar. He knows what the limits of the president's power are, and although he thumbed his nose, he called Bush out on it, just like I did. He called who did he run against the first time? McCain.
Yeah.
Because he said half of the things McCain is talking about would require an executive action, and I just wouldn't do that. And then he called out the Massachusetts governor, Romney, for the same thing. And he didn't try this in 2008, and he didn't try it in 2010. He didn't try it in 2012. He lost the midterms. He's got a Congress that is the opposite party, and he basically said... Well,
and a Senate that's the opposite.
the entire Congress is the opposite party. And once that happened, he thumbed his nose at them and said, I'm going to do what I want now.
Yeah.
And the question that I asked some of my very die-hard Democrat friends was, he challenged...
Things I said to myself in the mirror.
I'm not a die-hard Democrat. And now they're all they thought I was until this whole thing popped up. But what I said was, he said pass a bill. Now, does that mean he's going to sign any bill that they pass? Absolutely not.
Right.
They're going to send him a Republican bill. He's going to veto it. And then he's going to say, well, send me a better bill. And in the meantime, I'm going to do what I want. And they don't have veto-proof majorities in either house. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to pass bills. He's going to veto them. And we're going to be stagnant again. And then in the meantime, he is going to rule by executive action.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, what Julius Caesar did in Rome. The end of the Republic in Rome happened when Julius Caesar said, the Senate cannot do anything. They're stagnant. So I'm going to come in and take control, and I'm going to direct things.
Fun fact, Caesar also tapped your phone.
Did he?
Yeah, he also had
phone,
all the smartphones in ancient Rome.
Yes.
He knew everything that was happening, all the texts and the calls.
I'm sure that he did. Yeah.
He knew when you were talking about diddling some girl at the Parthenon.
Pederasty? It's totally okay then, though.
Anywho.
Anyway, yeah. But no, I'm very upset. We can do it. We'll talk about that forever. I'm very upset.
I was gonna say, so what's this podcast about? Isn't this about like some book that's coming out? What's it called again? Because I don't think you told us the name of it.
It's called The Movement, Insurrection, the movement is what you're going to find throughout the series. This one is I've actually tentatively named all of them, and it's the alliteration. It's the movement inspiration, the movement insurrection, and the movement insurgency. So those are the three main books. They're all TMI.
Yeah.
Which I just find, I don't know, that makes me laugh. I'm simple-minded. I'm simple-minded enough that
and then
it's okay.
And then eventually it's going to be the movement. Beach party!
Weekend at the movement, too?
The weekend at the movement, too. Fucking just like two people on each side of Teddy, just like dragging him around the park.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, back to the character.
Teddy, if you're not alive, then my boss won't give me a raise.
And what the listeners have just missed is Corey's demonstration of Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, I was just doing a Bernie impression.
Not the first time he's done that.
No,
on
I
the
do
podcast,
that. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I think there's a camera rolling, so
Right.
it's just like,
Well, for a while there was. So
it's like a marionette.
a marionette.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, that's not what
You
you
said
said.
a marionette.
I said marionette.
No, you said like Mark Marinette. That's what you just said.
Now we're gonna go to the tape, and you're gonna hear a subtle
Okay, wait. Let's go to the tape.
yet marionette. Oh fuck!
I love when Corey goes with the riffs like that. When he goes with it, it's fucking all right.
All right.
So anyway, the
Yeah.
character. So Teddy is the main character. There are two other characters that are we see a lot of, and that's Mark and Jimmy, who are both brothers, and they are the opposite in ways of Teddy. Blue collar family. They don't. I mean, obviously, Jimmy never went to college. He went straight from high school, where he was top dog, to the factory, like the factory in the town.
Right.
And so, there's a lot of my pent up frustration with the place that I live in Jimmy. It's the people who.
Does he work at Purdue?
He doesn't. We don't know where he works. It's some sort of manufacturing plant, but it's the people who I knew from high school. And when I moved away and they moved back, now that they're there, and they still think that they're like the big man on campus. And I'm like, you peaked in high school, brah. Like, calm down. That's exactly what I say. You peaked in high school, brah. So there's that. So
I don't need to hear your shit. I make $17.50 an hour.
ironically, some of them probably do make better money than me. God.
Now though.
Well, for now.
When
yes.
they're 40, they're still going to be making. They're going to get their.
$17.50 an hour.
They're going to get their like 19-cent raise every 3 years, and then
Yeah. Theoretically, although
eventually they'll be at $21, and you'll be at $2,100 an hour.
maybe I'm still doing that, or independently wealthy millionaires.
Yay! Somebody makes a movie and gets everybody rich. According to a trailer I just saw, I'm all over it.
You do
My-
everything.
My sister.
Can you collect 19 paychecks for that? By the way,
Maybe. Just like take myself scale on each one of them.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
take a percentage.
I actually get 94% of the profit. How about that?
So that tells me it's like a small business when you start it yourself and you're doing all kinds of shit.
Not getting paid for anything.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
you don't get paid to be a cashier
No.
or anything like that. You just get your annual salary. I don't know.
Well, sure.
Those are questions for a lawyer. I wish there was one around.
Oh, hey, huh? Anyway, so Jimmy is my friend. Not my friend. It's people I know from high
Jimmy's
school.
my friend.
People I know from high school, and he went straight from
We
high
need-
school to the factory.
We need to get a Jimmy is my homeboy T-shirt.
And
Some
the thing is,
swag to go with the movement Insurrection.
The gym.
So it'll be just like the Chive, where people like buy you beers if you're wearing your Chive shirt out.
exactly.
And then
I
like
mean,
people see like a Jimmy is my homeboy T-shirt, and they're just like, the movement. You watch it? Are you read
Yeah.
it too?
yeah, and I mean that's the thing is, I wrote him the way that I feel about those guys, which is I want to hate them. And I mean that's how it is. I want to just like scream at them like you peaked in high school, but they are so. Two of those guys at my 10-year reunion bought me a beer and then started crying. That's what happened. And they were like, man, we were so mean to you. We were so immature. Like they've grown up, even though they're in the same place
Yeah.
mentally, they've grown up enough to know that like that wasn't appropriate. Now we're all adults, and like I got two grown men, one on each side of me, crying into their beers about how like they regret how they treated me so poorly, and I'm like, the fuck is going on here? But that's the thing. Like, that's Jimmy. You want to hate him because of he reminds. If you were a nerd in high school, he reminds you of the people that tormented you.
Yeah.
And then he's so likable. You're like, fuck, I actually like you.
Yeah.
And then so he and Mark go off against each other. And there's actually a lot of my sister, ironically, in Jimmy. Only in the struggles that she and I have, which is that Mark went off to college, and even though he was blue collar and he had to take out loans, he gets a lot of shit from Jimmy about being an intellectual and going to college and all that stuff. And so like, there's a little bit of that dynamic that me and my sister have, although she's not a Jimmy. Obviously, she's a Sarah.
She's not a
She
Jimmy.
doesn't listen to the podcast. Doesn't support my dreams.
Yes.
I know, right? AP would totally listen to your podcast.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have a horrible sister.
I think Brendan listens. I don't know if Laura does.
Well, Laura's busy, obviously.
Yeah, Laura's busy as shit though.
She's
so.
got things to do, so
I'm busy and I listen.
fair enough.
There, EP throwing down the gauntlet.
Down
Laura,
the gauntlet.
you've been
Boom.
challenged.
Boom.
How many hours a week do you work?
50 to 60.
Yeah, so unless you're working 61 or more, you got time. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so Mark is Teddy's roommate, and he's the opposite of Teddy in that he's blue collar and he's took out loans to go to school. And there's a lot of my story in Mark's, which is college was paid for because the parents planned ahead and put money away, and then the economy tanked, and the entire college fund, which was in investments to grow because it was promised that it was going to grow so much, and then the economy tanks and the money's all gone. So it is so you're left with what are we going to do? Well, I'm going to take out loans, and the people from his home, from the small town where he's from, give him shit for being such an intellectual, but then he goes to the school, and they basically call him like a redneck because he's conservative.
A rube.
Yeah, I mean, he's conservative, and he's got a small town mindset, so he's a man without a country. Because when he goes home, he's just like the people from school, and when he goes to school, he's just like the people from home. So it causes this internal conflict for him that is only rectified when he gets a little structure in his life. So.
Now, I remember the origins of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like this to be shared.
Okay.
Because I was working on... What was it? I can't remember if it was that, like, Everything's Wrong in Pennsylvania script, or if it was...
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
The play I wrote. It's just not working.
It was not working like what?
It's like so I kind of like most recently I saw Tusk, the Kevin Smith film, where every single person in that book is a shithead.
Yeah.
And you don't like any of them. And then by the end of the movie, like when it was done and I left, I was just like, wow, a movie full of shitheads isn't really as entertaining as I thought it would be. Which was basically the premise of
yeah.
Yeah, like but well, I mean, I guess everything fucking I'm not going to ruin Tusk, but like the idea of everything, and that was a tentative title too. Everything's Wrong in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But like it's
a bunch of some shit though.
A bunch of shitheads.
Yeah.
Like all causing trouble, and then at the end, like everybody dies. So like it's like a classic Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Drama.
Which, by the way, are you watching Sons of Anarchy?
No.
That's right. You can't spend long watching.
Yeah.
So much allusion to Shakespearean writing in it, and then it's getting like oppressive. I'm like, come on. They have an original thought.
Yeah.
I know that everything's been done, but it's getting really Shakespearean.
Yeah.
Like, it's like bordering on soap opera. It's so Shakespearean.
I love Shakespeare, though.
I do too, but if you're going to do Shakespeare, do Shakespeare. Don't give... I mean, I like O. I liked Leonardo DiCaprio in Romeo and Juliet, but those are true homages. In the case of Leo, it was like, we're even going to do the Old English. But, like, I get that. But don't say that you're Sons of Anarchy and really be doing Hamlet, which it's a little bit of Hamlet. It's a little bit of a couple things. But there is so much overarching Shakespearean stuff in it. But anyway.
Yeah, going back to it, though.
Sorry.
So I don't remember what I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the National Writing Month.
NaNoWriMo.org. Everybody should go to NaNoWriMo.
And it just happened, right?
It's happening now.
It's in November,
it's
right?
In November.
Yeah.
I am doing it right now. That's what I'm trying to finish the sequel to this.
Yeah, because I remember you came up to me. You said, "I'm going to finally write my book."
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm using this as the inspiration to finally write it.
Yep.
And it was, what, 10,000 words in a month or something like that?
50,000.
50,000 words in a month.
And I did 62.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
It's 2,000 words a day.
Now Rob hates me, by the way, as a writer. I mean, not as like what ends up on the page kind of thing.
How you write drives me insane.
How I write drives Rob insane,
yeah.
Because if I come home from work at 4 and I start writing, well, I don't start writing right away. Let's see. So I get home from work at 4:20, ... About 4:45, I start writing.
Mm-hmm. You eat sandwiches.
Eat sandwiches at 4:20. I'm hungry. And then there's, I don't know, probably like I sit there for 2.5, 3 hours and write 19 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go upstairs and I chain smoke and I come down and I read them all and I hate myself and then I delete it all.
Most of it.
And then I delete it all. And then I write 19 more pages, just like fucking clack, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I chain smoke, and then I come down, and I read it, and I hate it myself. And then by the end, there was once where I wrote 100 pages.
Yeah.
I'm not lying, 100 pages in an afternoon.
And none of it survived.
Yeah. Deleted every single word of it, because I was so, like, I do that, like, I talk to myself. Rob probably heard this a shit ton at Ridgely's Delight.
I did.
Where I'd just, like, be sitting in my room, like, looking at the computer screen going, like, you fucking piece of shit!
That is exactly the quote I was going to use.
You are the fucking worst writer ever in the history of the world. You deserve to die and get a bullet put in your fucking head.
Yeah.
Goddamn jerk. And then you walk outside and you fucking chain smoke, and then you come back up and just go, like, look at that shit! Fucking whipping your laptop across the room.
Yeah.
And then eventually I write, like, 5 pages that I like all right, and I'm just like, I'm going to bed.
So, but that is literally how he writes. Now, I wrote this, which is now will be published.
Yeah.
I wrote the stream of consciousness. I just busted it all out, and then the editing process was moving things around and changing it slightly. And the final editing process was the lawyers for the publisher saying, we can't put that in the book.
That's not something you can.
You gave instructions on building an IED that work. We can't do that. That's not going to get past the censors. So there was something like that was the last bit of editing, but some of the editing was just this makes sense, but it builds the story better if we move this to here, move that to there, and I do all that.
Is there a rule about not saying it on a podcast?
About what?
Telling people how to make an IED.
I mean, we could talk about IED if you want.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
There's no content.
We got a fucking pirate ship, so
don't see. I was looking for something that we could use.
That isn't pirate ship.
That isn't pirate ship because obviously that's taken by Corolla. So I mean, we got to come up with something though. I like that. I like the concept of that, but
I don't know what that is. So for any listeners who don't know what that is.
All right, so on Adam Carolla, he owns his own network of shows.
He was one of the first ones who said this. Well, he looked at Stern and he said when Stern jumped from radio to satellite, he was like, "That's good, great." And he started doing satellite, and then they started putting the censorship on the satellite. And he was like,
well, no, I don't think he was on satellite. I think he went right from
he
terrestrial radio to
podcasting. But no, he was featured on satellite radio programs. Oh, okay. And then they would still edit him. It would still not go out live. It was still, we're doing a delay. And, well, why are we doing a delay? People are paying for the content. It's HBO. They're paying for the content. Yeah. We should be able to say what we want. But they still have sponsors. They still had all that stuff. So he was the first one to say, and he wasn't the first podcaster, but he was like, look at this format. You could no content barriers whatsoever.
Yeah, I
can say I hate In-N-Out Burger. Now you can. Now when nobody would say that,
it hurts me to even hear.
Just so I had my first In-N-Out Burger in Vegas, and God, I could have gone home after that. It was heavenly.
Oh, my hunger was so much better when I had.
Corey, you can have it in like 3 days.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, that's God damn you!
Yes.
God damn you!
Oh, I gotta find some San Francisco In-N-Out. I'm going to San Francisco, by the way.
Yeah, so that's why you can get In-N-Out. But no, so
I'm gonna steal Brendan's car and go find In-N-Out.
We took a taxi.
Meanwhile, 120 pounds soaking wet Brendan would be like
5 In-N-Out burgers.
Would be like, why did you take my car?
It's like I'll get a
In-N-Out burger. Here you go. I got you some animal style.
Yeah. Now we took. We took a cab. We took a cab.
The way he says it. Oh, man, I wish I had some animal style right now.
It's like when Harry met Sally. I'll have what she's having. So we took a cab to In-N-Out Burger, and the guy was asking us, like the cabbie was like, really, there are other places we can go. We don't have to go to the burger store. No, it's not. No, we are going there on purpose. It's not like the closest thing. Like, let's go there. He wasn't happy. And then we called him back. Yeah. He became like our cabbie.
Yeah, he became our go-to guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so how do we get off on In-N-Out Burger? Oh, no, so because he could say, I hate In-N-Out Burger. Now, you say that on the radio, and maybe In-N-Out Burger doesn't sponsor your show, but the corporate parent of the corporate parent of the corporate parent of the corporate parent of In-N-Out Burger is also of Dial Soap, which is the sponsor of your show, and now you've pissed off the wrong people.
Right.
And so his concept of the pirate ship was there was something called pirate radio that in Britain, I want to say, yeah, I think.
Maybe.
So some guys got an old oil tanker and were running when you couldn't play rock and roll on when you couldn't play rock and roll on British radio. They got this oil tanker and they went out into international waters, which are very close because of how close Europe and Britain are. So they went out to the strip and were broadcasting rock and roll into England. So it became pirate radio. And then he has adopted that into his, like, now that we're online and there's no content barriers and I can say whatever the fuck I want. And if it pisses off a sponsor, fine. I got other people lined up who are willing to give me money. So that he has a pirate ship. It's pirate radio for him. So that's the long-winded explanation.
So maybe we just have our own world?
Yeah, I mean, we just
the Anthem Nation or something like that?
Sure. Something wrong. I mean, that's not so... That doesn't fall off the tongue the way the pirate ship does.
Anthem Nation.
I don't know.
We all stand underneath one anthem. Heart. Hand on heart.
Okay, I'll
Boldly declaring to the future. One solitary thing that unites us. Oh! There we go.
This is the process that we go through. Just so everybody's clear, that's how that happens. But no, so, how did we even get off on that?
EB wanted an explanation of what a pirate ship was.
But before that, how did we get to the pirate ship? Shit. I can't even remember.
In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, that was after.
Oh, we were talking about National Novel Writing Month.
And we were talking about you wanting sponsors. Was that what it was? No, you said support the pirate ship. I don't.
Whatever. Just click through the Amazon link. Pre-order Rob's book, The Movement Insurrection.
Right. So, we were talking about the characters. See, now I'm so off. I can't even.
We were talking about the National Novel Writing Month.
Yes. And you are horrible. I hate how you write. I wrote it stream of consciousness, and then I rearranged everything to a workable book. And
we were talking about how we can't explain how to do an IED.
Oh, I can.
Right.
And I can explain how. So the thing that you won't find in the book, just so that's clear, is.
Let's not actually do it right here.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I can. I know how to do it. And the thing is, it's like basically, I had the conversation with my publisher that Chuck Palahniuk had with his publisher.
Because you remember when you were tweeting with a member of the Navy?
Oh shit!
And then all of a sudden across another jurisdiction came into knocking on your door.
Well, they came looking for you, right? Didn't they come to the apartment?
No, they came looking for you.
But at the apartment.
Yeah.
So that's a funny story. So I went back and forth with this guy who's in Guam or somewhere, who's in the Navy. And I don't know. It was just like we got into a flame war about whatever we get into flame wars about. And then all of a sudden, the cops show up.
I feel like it was a pretty innocuous reference to a gun.
So
I think it was something like somebody was he said something like, "Oh, you're not gonna be so smart if somebody puts a gun in your face," and then you're just like, "I don't give a shit if you put a gun in my face."
Right, something very that style. And there was a reference made to the gym where she shall not be named worked.
Right.
So that's in Baltimore County. So they went to the gym, nothing obviously because the dude's in Guam. And then they came to the apartment. Baltimore County cops came into the city to our apartment to look for them. See, now this is what people don't understand: is when I tell these crazy ass stories, this shit actually happens.
Yeah.
In my life.
Just because the one time you talked on the phone with your friend.
Yeah. About
like something stupid that you probably shouldn't have said on the phone.
Right.
Doesn't mean that in the future it won't.
Well, and. The next book,
which actually kind of brings you to all the problems that lead to the movement.
Well, yes. And I was going to say just as a sidebar, I'm trying to think, not the next one, because I think the next one is going to be autobiography. But maybe the next one. One of the next two books that's getting published is loosely based on my adventures with Justin.
Yeah.
So, and that actually happened. It's a thing that happened that people don't believe me, but it actually everything.
And then all of a sudden he came back.
Happened. No, he didn't.
No, at least he lives a life online.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Somebody found him online after years of not being online. I forgot about that. Yeah. But I tried to send him a friend request, and he denied me.
Ooh.
So I don't know. But he disappeared for. I don't want to ruin the book. Is so like it's so. You read it. You read the calls.
I read it in a day.
Yeah. So there you go. So how and crazy
Listen,
story. Right?
I may have written this thing myself, but it's fucking good.
Well, the biggest compliment is when I have given that to people, when I've given photobiography to people, which is even worse. When I've given the movement to people, people say I could not put it down. It was insane. I'd get to the end of the chapter and just be like, okay, I'm only going to read one more chapter, and I did end up reading the whole book in sitting. That's a huge compliment to me.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about that is crazy. And you've read the entire adventures. Nothing is fictionalized in that. The only thing that's not reality is the name of the character. Everyone else's name is the name of the real person, which has to be changed. I talked to the publisher, so I got to change that apparently. But everything else is the same.
Is there a character named Corey who just needs a lot of in and out?
Well, no, because that happened when you were here and I was there.
Oh, that's
And
right.
All of it basically all takes place in New York in that summer.
Yeah.
That I was in Maryland living with Laura, which made me I don't want to call it. I wasn't a monk, a hermit kind of
monastery.
I mean, I was working and at home with her. That was all I was doing because
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to have fun. Because that's what happens with the girls that I date. Anyway, but that's way off. But that book, I'm so excited for other people to read that book too. But they're all the secret that I will never mention again. So this is an exclusive for the O the Anthem podcast.
We're gonna have to make sure that we put exclusive somewhere on the.
So this is the exclusive. When I say that I've created a universe, everything is interconnected in all the books. Everything is interconnected, and I never make a reference to things being interconnected. You have to find the clues to see how they're interconnected. Now, some of them are going to be more obvious than others, but there is nothing happening on its own. That's what I'll say. So
Interesting.
you've read the calls, and I'm just going to say that part of that is going to lead to something in. It leads to something in the movement. It leads to something in other books as well. So you may be thinking to yourself, like, I don't know how you're going to connect that all together.
I'm interested to see.
Right. So, but you're right in one aspect, that is the thing when that happened, the Baltimore County thing is what kind of led to ideas about the movement. The book being
right.
That shit just gets kind of crazy, and you're like, I mentioned something on Twitter.
Yeah.
We have a Twitter flame war.
And it was innocuous on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, flame war. We were giving each other shit.
If you would have read it, you would have said like, oh well, there's nothing.
I think Rob has had much worse Twitter wars in recent days.
I have. No, I mean, I've said way more controversial things.
Yeah.
And that's how I know. That's when I got my name on the list. If there was a list my name wasn't on before, that's what got me on the list.
Yeah.
Not yet on the no-fly list, apparently, because my passport went through with flying colors. But it's probably got a chip in the back where they're like, we need to search your anal cavity.
Yeah.
Every time.
Just like anytime they see you approaching the airport, there's people just putting on the gloves and like
yeah, there he comes. But no, when I was 10,
no lube.
When I was 10 or 11, I requested Mein Kampf from one library to another in Caroline County.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to do that without actually putting. I mean, I put a piece of paper. That's all. We used the card catalog, and I looked at the card catalog, and it had it in there, but it was referenced to the Denton Library, and I was in Federalsburg, so I filled out a paper and dropped it in a box, and then with my library number, and then they called the house and said the automated thing called the house and said your book is now available at your local branch. So I went down there, and I'm 9-10 years old. I'm literally like 3.5 feet tall. I was really short until high school. And so I walk up, and I can't even see over the counter. So I'm doing that thing. Nobody can see me. I'm putting my hands on the counter and lifting myself up to try and see the librarian. And say, they said that my book was in?
Yeah.
Like, well, I got a copy of Clifford the Big Red Dog. And I'm like, no, I asked for Mein Kampf. And they were like, what? What is that? And so, like, she gives me the book, and she would not give it to me. Like, she shows it to me, and it's got the black cover and everything, and she's like, I'm not sure I can give this to you. So my mom had to come down to the library with me and be like, "No, we kind of just let him read whatever he wants to read."
Yeah.
And they let me have it. But I know that when I left, she was on the very primitive Apple II, like
Right.
clickety click 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 click.
With the printers that used to be like, and you'd have to rip off the perforated sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what she did is she hit enter, and over at the NSA, one of those Apple II printers was going off with my name on it, and my name started. And then I printed off the entirety of the Anarchist Cookbook freshman year of college, because at the end of the year I had like 370 page credits.
Yeah.
So I double-sided up the Anarchist Cookbook, and I printed it all off. And when the person who saw the printer saw it, they actually wouldn't give it to me then either. So I had to like go wait. It was a student, whoever was like, I don't know if this was post-Columbine, but pre anything that like anybody would really remember.
It would have to be after 9/11, though.
It was after 9/11,
yeah.
because that was when we were still in high school too. So everybody was
We were
very
in senior year at that point.
yeah. Everybody was very up, but it had been. I mean, wow, no. So it would have been just like 1 year later,
Yeah.
actually. 1 year plus a couple of months, because I think it was the end of the freshman semester. And so I printed out the Anarchist Cookbook, and they held it, and I had like a little argument with the teacher or the whoever it is that was staff that actually ran the thing. And I was like, it's literature, just like anything else. There's no rules against me printing out anything really, and I'm printing that out. So I know that got my name on a list.
I printed out gay porn on the computer, and they didn't like.
So they held my copy of the Anarchist Cookbook,
Yeah.
but you put out hardcore gay pornography.
It wasn't
No questions.
hardcore.
It wasn't like actual fucking?
No, it was. Okay, so here's a funny story.
Wait, does this involve the big purple dildo?
No.
Okay. Corey has a big purple dildo.
Actually, no, because I printed out the gay porn picture and it didn't work, now that I'm remembering.
It didn't print out?
No, it just didn't fit right.
Okay.
So what had happened was I had an RA.
It didn't fit right.
Wait, the big purple dildo didn't fit right? Yeah.
I had an RA who had made a snowball
Right.
with the intention of throwing it at me.
Right. That's right.
But
Was he the one who had loud sex with his girlfriend in the shower?
maybe.
Was it Scotty?
No.
Christina.
Yeah.
Christina was dating that guy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But anyway, so
Small world.
he had made a snowball with the intention of throwing it at me, but I wasn't there. I guess it was one of those rare opportunities that I went to class.
Or came to my place.
Or went to Rob's
Yeah.
place. Or was just, tooling around Long Island somewhere.
Sabaris.
Yeah, it's Barros. Eating an entire pie just to myself. Fat kid status. Anywho, so he was just like, well, fuck this. I'm not going to make another snowball. And he put it in the freezer of his little mini fridge. And then, a day later, I was, in my room just watching, the NFL draft or some shit. And he's just like, Corey! I'm just like, what? He's like, come here. I'm like, what? And then I walk out of my room, and then he's, halfway down the hall, and he launches this now ice ball at me, and it dips and clips me, right along the bottom of the testicles. And then there's a bounce back. So I get clipped, and then there's a second impact where it hits in between, the butt cheeks and where the balls usually sit. So immediately go down. I'm fucking on the ground, doing that, kicking the 1 foot, going oh, son of a bitch. Oh my God. My fucking balls have come off. All that sort of stuff. And then, I vow vengeance on him. So the original idea was that I Photoshop a picture of his face onto a gentleman, a shirtless gentleman. I think just wearing jockeys or something like that.
Right.
And then there's another gentleman behind him, sort of kissing up on his neck and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I was going to make it mosaic style because I had the first floor right above the door.
In the window. That's right. Yeah.
So I was going to do a mosaic of this picture of him being held tenderly by some other man.
Yes.
Because he was going to have to help everybody move out. One of the jobs of the RAs is helping people move out. So he's in and out of the building all day.
Right.
But that didn't work, so I think I ended up like writing something.
I remember you doing something though.
Yeah, like I just like pasted like individual sheets of paper that said like I can't even remember his name. God damn it!
I want to say Steve. I want to say it was Steve.
What's this called, Steve?
Yeah.
It was like like Steve Diddle's little boys. Steve the RA Diddle's boys or something like that.
Yeah.
And just like a picture of his face on there. And then that was just like, it's the first thing that like parents and students would see as they were walking into the building. And then he's just like banging on the, he's like, come on, take it down. I'm just like, sorry, I'm asleep. He's like, really, it's not fucking funny. You got to take it down. I'm just like, I don't think you're my RA anymore. So it doesn't.
But yeah,
Anywho.
he was the one who had loud sex in the shower all the time. Every time I came over, it seemed like he was having sex in the shower. It was loud.
Good for him.
Well, I think it was the girl who was having the loud sex.
Yeah, he was having sex. She was loud.
Yeah. I think I for whatever reason, I have crystallized in my head like oh God, like one of those, like just like a loud refrain. Like it wasn't like a like sort of like the stereotypical shower sex thing you think of, but like right there, oh my God, like it was just like every once in a while it was just like I think of the I'm gonna have to put an annotation or just I'll put it in the fucking show notes. Bill Hicks doing Goat Boy. Have you ever seen that? Have I shown you that?
No,
Goat Boy is naughty. Goat Boy.
She took a vacation to Ocean City a couple years ago.
Oh, did she?
Anyway, so
She's still out in the shower.
So what were we talking about before that? I don't remember. What?
I don't know, but we're at
We're about an hour, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So here's all I'll say. So I haven't really talked much about the whole point of the book, but the whole point of the book is the movement is what people are calling this thing that happens, and when the country kind of is going to shit in the same way that it's going to shit now, this author writes a book, and the book says, you know, we can do things differently, we can do things better, and this is how we do it. And when people, it's not a novel, it's a book that actually has a lot of, it's like a political book, and
Like Great Gatsby.
Not a novel. So that would be a novel.
Yeah.
It's not a novel.
So it's like Mein Kampf.
It's like America by Jon Stewart.
Oh, okay.
Where like it has a.
He's just looking at things on my bookshelf.
Yeah, it has like
intermediate algebra didn't work.
It has like an entertainment feel, but it's factual.
Right.
And it he self-publishes, and then it takes off, and it gets picked up by all these people, and they're saying like how there is actually a homage to Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert in there. So he gets some national attention, and then these people start getting these groups together and saying, well, it's really not far-fetched for us to do this. We could do that. We can take care of each other. We can, get food together for the people who are less fortunate. We can start voting for people who really matter. And then there's the bad situation gets worse based on what we had, and a lot of factual investigation going on to the depression sets in, and like jobs are lost, and things get as bad as you can imagine them ever being, and this group starts to take proactive action and do things rather than just kind of sitting around and talking about them. And Teddy and Jimmy and Mark are on the front lines of all this stuff that's happening. But I think that no matter who you are, I think that you'll find something about the book that you like. EP read it. She's not she's a girl's girl. She's not. Oh no, you haven't read this. This is the one you haven't read. Damn it. I'm excited for you to read it, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to EP's thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read it too.
Yeah. Well, a couple people read it, and women have read it, and men have read it, and everybody kind of seems to find something about it that they like. And the inspiration for the whole thing was, I've been writing this damn book for like a decade now. And I think I've talked about it before. I got it to like 800 pages, and I pulled a Corey and just said, fuck this whole thing, and threw the whole thing away and started over again. And now I'm in the process of rewriting it. And back when you and I were first talking about doing a podcast, which was 2009, and by the way, we should have fucking jumped on it.
Yeah, we should have just done it.
We'd be like 600 episodes in now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back when we were doing it, I said,
And we'd have upwards of multiple dozens of listeners.
well, I mean, I was just saying, Rogan and Nerdist all started 5 years ago. They're all around 600 episodes now, so. Just saying.
We could have been.
Could have been. We still can. I mean, we're still on the leading edge of this thing.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Anyway, so I kept
Don't
saying...
tell your friends to start a podcast. Just tell your friends to
listen to our
Yeah.
podcast.
It's not as much fun as it looks.
It's good to listen to. It's great to download.
Yeah.
Good to listen to. It's a pain in the ass to do, though.
It's wonderful to download.
Yeah.
It's all right to listen to.
Miserable to make.
Miserable to make.
Yeah, you don't want to get into doing this.
Rob had to sit in 97 traffic for so long today just to record a stupid podcast.
If he just lived up here, then that wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Because 695 never has traffic.
All right. Everybody pack your bags because we're going on a guilt trip. Anyway, no, so I kept saying that, like, I've always thought of these two companion pieces. I've thought of the nonfiction book that kind of explains my perspective of the world. And the only thing I'm afraid of dying for is that I'm not done that book. And I think I have all this shit trapped in my head that I want to get down on paper. Having a companion book that was fictional, that was it kind of explained the things that I believe in. And for those of you, God, I wish you had read it. I should have just given it to you. That it's not preachy. It doesn't like slam you in the head with this political stuff. But obviously, the political message is there.
Yeah.
And so this is that, and it's entertaining and it's fun and got characters that you're gonna love. And apparently, we're gonna make Jimmy is my homeboy T-shirts or something, which would be great. Which we need to start working on swag. More swag. But listen, it's $3.99.
I wouldn't mind having beanies with the brim like I wear.
Yeah.
With like the Anthem logo on it. That'd be
Hell
pretty.
yeah, I'd wear that.
Yeah. Let's get on that.
Let's should do that. That was a quick reaction too. I wasn't expecting that.
Let's just go to Cafe Press and get this shit working.
Do it. But anyway, so here's the you'll be able to find the link on the show notes. It's $3.99 right now. It's Kindle only. We're working on print on demand, but so you can download it to your phone or your tablet or your Kindle or your computer, anywhere that you can play Kindle files. And it's I don't want to say it's a quick read, but it is. It's the kind of thing where you're not going to want to put it down, I think. And it's entertaining, but it's also got a message. And I'm hoping that it's inspirational for people.
We should talk them into doing an ebook version, because we could just sit down here and knock that out.
I'm working on them to.
Like an audiobook. That's what I meant.
Audiobook. Yeah. I'm working on them to do print on demand already. So that it's my fault. I think I've talked about it before. It's my fault. Everything got delayed, and now we're looking at next year to do that. And I'm trying to get them to front load it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's always Rob's fault.
It really is.
Stupid Rob.
I get too much going on.
Hashtag stupid Rob.
I was doing this all the time instead of doing the stuff my publisher wanted. But I, in the dedication to the book, which I know nobody reads, but please, just take the time to read the dedication and the acknowledgments. But I say that the book is dedicated, generally speaking, to everyone who moves, whose efforts move it from the fiction to the nonfiction section. I think that it is. It sends a good message, and I think there's a message I hope there that I think people will enjoy. So.
Well, like I said up front, I'm not. This is no bullshit. Like I'm legitimately like proud and happy that this is like actually. We're what is it now? Today, as of the recording, is the 22nd.
Yeah.
So we have
9 days.
9 days until it's official. You're an author.
Published, and I've sold at least one copy.
Yeah.
So that makes me a published author who's made a sale.
Yeah,
so.
that's the official thing. I feel like as soon as you've made like any money on it, it's official. You can call yourself an author.
Yeah, so I made 39 cents thus far, at least.
Yeah.
Which is not, I mean, I got the update from the publisher, and there's been more sales than that. Suspect that some of those are people who buy, reviewers, who just buy when they see something interesting that they like. Especially when it's $3.99 on Amazon for the Kindle book. It's not going to set you back a lot, and I will certainly be happy to once we get print versions. That if you want autographs or whatever, we'll do the dedications and send. So hopefully we get that working when we get print on demand. But it does not going to set you back a lot, and I hope people who get it enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it.
I am looking forward to it.
It will be. You can It's pre-sale, so you can purchase it before the 1st, and it's delivered in order of purchase, which means I think you're going to be the first person in the world who will have a copy
to receive
of
it.
Yeah. So I think it sends at noon on the 1st, and so it'll be in your box at noon on the 1st. The later you wait, the later it is in the box. If you buy it on the 1st, you get delayed behind the
Everybody who
pre-sale.
pre-ordered.
Yeah. So in the time when I actually saw like 1 million copies pre-sale, it's really good to buy a pre-sale. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting.
So what he's saying is act now and purchase your pre-ordered copy of the Movement Insurrection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And go through theanthem.com, click
Right.
on the Amazon link, and then I get a little bit of that.
We get a little
Rob's getting 39 cents for every book sold. Give me a little bit. Just that'll be my part.
Mm-hmm. So, click through, check out the movementinsurrection.com. You'll be able to find stuff. You can find us on Twitter at TM Insurrection, on Facebook at facebook.com/the Movement Insurrection. Basically, the Movement Insurrection everywhere, Google Plus.
And all that'll be
Insurance.
highlighted in social media posts. So.
And if you do like it, please send me some feedback. Make comments on Amazon.
What I really want is I want this to be a big hit,
Mm-hmm.
and lots of people write customer reviews about it.
Yeah.
And then I can just read negative reviews to you on the show.
Yeah.
It'll be like celebrities read mean tweets on
That'll
Jimmy
be
Kimmel.
That'd be super fun. Yeah.
Like I'll just sit you down and then I'll just be like, Robert Cheek is a massive gas bag.
Yes.
And he never stops with his stupid fucking bullshit all the time.
Yeah.
1 star, love Steph.
She didn't have $3.99.
Then she'll be like, "Can we get back together?
No,
I miss you."
here's the thing.
Yeah.
That is what will happen. The last time I talked to her is when she found this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think that's because she thought it was like, we don't make money from this. Just so everybody's clear.
Oh, a podcast?
No, we do this because, Corolla makes his career doing this or whatever. We do this because we like it.
This is a money-losing
I was
venture.
gonna
It
say
is.
you guys lose.
We
money.
lose money constantly. And I think she thought that we make a lot of money.
The only reason why we would bother doing this if we were making shit tons of money.
Well, because I think you get the idea in your head that if you don't understand what it is, that like, wait, I can listen to them. It's like radio. It must be a
Radio on demand.
Yeah, we lose money. We do this because we like it and because we can take the time to talk about the love letter or the book that I'm writing or the shit that our friends have going on. So yes, I think maybe that's what I'll get. I'll get the 5 stars. Loved it. Miss you. Let's get back together. And then
you know who it is.
And then like 4 messages later, she'd be like, "Yeah, I think that's my best asset."
And then
Ooh.
Rob just sits there and he's looking at the review.
Mm-hmm.
The I love you. Let's get back together.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, who the fuck is this? It could be so many people.
Could be so many people.
Anywho, theanthem.com, Corey at theanthem.com, The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Vimeo, and the listener line, 443-219-7595.
One more time.
443-219-7595. The phone number's so nice we say it twice.
And I would love if you do read the book and you have some comments, call us in.
Oh, yeah.
Call in and let me hear your voice. Let me hear the love so that I take the gun out of my mouth about how few sales there are going to be of this thing.
Stop.
So,
when 11 people have bought your book and you're just like, nobody loves me.
Anybody. So you can find me online at Robert and Cheek. At almost all of your social networks, you can find
Except
Facebook
for
is
Facebook.
Rob Cheek Esquire. Although I still need to do. Need to turn that shit over.
You say that every time.
I say it every week. I just don't have time. I'm running around doing 1,000 things. And as I said before, you can find the Movement Insurrection at all your social networks as well. Generally, it's the Movement Insurrection, except for Twitter, which is TM Insurrection.
When we post all the social media stuff for this, just click on it and give it a
it'll all
follow.
be there.
Yeah.
And
So
Dead
you
Drop.
can get all the latest news.
Check out deaddrop.com, themovementinsurrection.com, Robert and Cheek, and
And
theanthem.com.
then
And
nothing has happened yet. I just bought the domain.
Oh, what's the domain?
But very soon you're going to be able to see more about me and my professional, like, personal directing stuff at ready? CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com.
Boom.
I love it. Yeah. So
it rolls off the tongue.
we got, and I know I keep saying it, but we have so much coming down the pipe for you guys in the next year.
2015 is going to be big.
2015 is going to blow up. It's going to be huge. I can't wait to show some of the stuff that we have coming. So.
Yeah. But right now we can't say anything.
No, we can't. It's frustrating. But also, we're going to get back on this because I want to, which is we want to show the love letter.
Yeah.
So come out with your ideas. We are actually looking for a place that we can show it. If you have an idea of a place, that would be great. We would love to do a live podcast with the first showing.
What I think would be a lot of fun if nobody else comes up with a crazier idea is just
we're not doing the driving down the highway thing.
No.
Okay. Because that was your last suggestion, and I shut that shit down.
Yeah. There's all kinds of laws against it. The just put it on the back of like a wide load.
That's what you
house.
said
Yeah.
to do. Yeah. I'm like, no, we can't. We're not going to block up traffic. Turn it to 97.5. And we're going to be putting it out through your speakers.
No, but if nothing else, I think we should just get a place where we can, like do the projector and a big screen. And then, I don't know, we'll buy like beer and sodas and...
Well, I would love a place that already serves beer.
Yeah, that would be great too.
If you have a bar or some place that serves alcohol. And we can do a live podcast for our dozens and dozens of listeners. And
you can come hit on EP there.
You can come hit
She'll
on
be
EP
there.
here. Yeah, she...
Hey.
Hey. Hey, boy, hey.
And you can meet all of the people that you hear on a weekly basis. Shani will, I'm sure, be there. EP will be there. And Corey and I will be there, and you can meet all of the members of the Anthem family. We just need a place.
Rob will dress like Liberace for the event.
I don't know that I ever dressed like Liberace.
You will for the event.
I'm gonna wear yoga pants.
That's how you class it up.
Yep.
Have a word on the back.
Yes.
Like slut dumpster.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're trying to say goodbye here. Everybody has given their...
I'm thinking about swag. Oh, the Anthem yoga pants. Or maybe not a Beth.
Not a Beth.
Not Beth.
Not Beth, or maybe I'm a Beth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depending on who you're... Hey, do you want to promote any of your stuff?
Well, I was going to, throw them a bone and just say that you can find me at EPZ3 at Twitter.
Is that it?
That's all.
That's all you're giving?
That's all I got for you.
So you got to track her down on the other stuff.
Yeah.
Be a stalker. She loves stalkers.
Yeah, she likes it when people stalk her.
I have many.
Anywho.
As always, you've been listening to the Anthem podcast. Part of the...
So there you have it, episode 34 of the Anthem podcast. I gotta say, after all these years, I still can't help but love talking about myself. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did doing it. Make sure before you go that you check out episode 33, our Thanksgiving episode from last week. And of course, a special little link here to my right. You're going to be able to click directly through to the Amazon affiliate to find my book. It's $3.99 Kindle version. You can't beat it. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you always get the freshest updates and you know everything that we're doing. Other than that, have a great week, everybody.